Shalom, everyone. Boker Tov. Rabbi Eric Solomon, Raleigh, North Carolina. Beth Meyer Synagogue, some more morning Torah. So this week's parsha, called Titzaveh, deals a lot with the clothing that the high priest, the Kohen Gadol, was to wear. All going into details about the different aspects, the designs, everything down to bells and pomegranates and sounds that were made on the edge of the kind of robe that the high priest wore. And it really leads to a powerful question about clothing and religious clothing in particular, but even just kind of the role of externals versus internals when it comes to religion. Okay, because there is a kind of general theory out there that all externals don't matter. That God is, without body, without form, clearly. That's the Jewish take. And so, if God has no form, if God has no body, and that religion and spirituality should be about things that are beyond material or tangible things. And therefore, clothing shouldn't matter when it comes to religion or anyway. And the Torah totally contradicts that because it goes into super detail about it. So what's going on there? Is the Torah totally off base, etc.? So I want to give it another connection. It's the yarmulke, the kippah. People will sometimes ask me, even this past Shabbat at our bar mitzvah, that some people were like, do I have to wear it? I'm not Jewish. I don't want to put that on, So there's no religious coercion, but it is considered a sign of respect, even if you're not Jewish, to wear one in the synagogue. What's going on there? What's the idea? So what I would say the Jewish take is really the shvil hazahav, as the Maimonides would say, the middle of the road approach, which is basically, it's true. The core of religious life, certainly the one that I ascribe to, that the mystics, Kabbalists go for, is that God is way beyond the physical manifestations of things. What is true and what is ultimate blessings are things you cannot see, touch, taste, and feel, like love, like connection, like a sense of contentment. It's not something you can, you can't buy contentment. You can buy a beautiful yarmulke or a beautiful prayer shawl, talit, or amazing tefillin, but you don't get more spiritually uplifted just because the leather was nicer on your tefillin or something. It's not the point. But they inform each other. When I put on a yarmulke, although I have done it for a lot of years now, so it becomes a little normalized. But in general, I remind myself that there's a power beyond me, to some degree, quote unquote, above me, that I am responsible to, that I'm connecting to, right? When I put on my talit, I have a feeling, first of all, I've worn it for many years. So it reminds me of history and some memories of when I wore it at special times of great joy and sadness. But also, it makes me a place of reverence. I have it on. I want to act a little differently, be more thoughtful. So the clothing informs my spirituality in both ways, But if the clothing is the focus, if it's all about how nice it looks or fancy, not the point. The clothing should help inform. It should help guide. It should be a spiritual reminder. There's nothing wrong with having a beautiful kippah or beautiful talit or wearing nice clothing to shul. But the idea is that that's not the point. The point isn't to wear nice clothing. The point is to have that clothing help bring you spiritual focus. If that's where it's going, go for it. Zygazon. There's no problem. But if you're just putting it on pro forma or putting it on to show off, God forbid, that's not godliness. That's ego. That's not worshiping the Holy One. That's worshiping the self. So this parsha reminds us, clothing externals have a purpose, but ultimately they should serve the power that's greater. Shabbat Shalom.